Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Honest Conversation with me. Today is International Menstruation Hygiene Day. So, I want to take this opportunity to bring awareness to what is menstruation hygiene. I feel hygiene during menstruation cycle is a combination of a few things. One of them, which we're going to speak about today, is the products that we use during our menstruation cycles. And the second part of menstrual hygiene is how we look after our bodies and our minds in terms of food, in terms of activity, in terms of lifestyle, what we do from morning to evening. And that I'm going to talk about in one of the next few videos, because that requires me to talk a little bit prior to that about Ayurveda, because Ayurveda talks a lot about different phases of a woman's life, different cycles of a woman's life every month, from menstruations 1 month to menstruation the next month. So coming back to today's topic of menstruation hygiene based on the products that we use, the personal hygiene products that we use. I'll share my story a little bit about that with you. So my entire life I've used commercially produced sanitary napkins. I somehow never ended up using tampons because the whole idea of using a tampon never really sat well with me, because I was aware of how the prana flows within the body, and according to yoga and how the movement of prana works in the body, during the time of menstruation, the prana is moving naturally downwards, outwards of our body. And I always felt like if I'm putting a tampon inside of my body, I'm going against that natural flow of energy. So I somehow never was inclined to even trying out a tampon. I didn't. I know many women, especially in the West, use tampons. So if one thing you can take away from this video is don't use tampons. They, however convenient they might feel to you, they're not healthy for your body. Have you heard of something called toxic shock syndrome that's becoming more and more common nowadays, that I hear about a lot more than ever before? That happens because we are using tampons which are produced in a factory, which are infused with chemicals, and if they stay in your body a little bit longer than they are supposed to, they can cause a series of reactions in your body which can even be fatal. So I'm not trying to instill fear, I'm just trying to share from a yogic perspective how tampons are not natural for our bodies to use as women. So sanitary napkins are a much better choice in terms of what is hygienic for your body and your energy. I made my switch a few years ago from using commercially produced sanitary napkins to a company which I found actually in Munich. They are available all over Europe. They are not yet available in India. Fortunately, I found them in Munich. I think they're an Italian brand, and they make completely natural, organic cotton sanitation products. So at least that was a step ahead from using chemically produced and industrially manufactured products. They are produced in a small factory, they are handmade, and they are made of organic cotton. So I know that I'm not putting any harmful substances on my skin, on my body, on the most sensitive parts of my body, and I'm not harming my system. So I felt really good using those products, but one thing always that hurt me was that I was going to throw these products away, and then the earth had to deal with it. So maybe you know this already, but any commercially produced menstrual hygiene product, whether it's a tampon or a sanitary pad, it takes up to 500 years once it's been thrown away into the garbage. When it goes into the earth, into the water, eventually it goes into the earth. It takes up to 500 years to disintegrate completely. And while it disintegrates, can you imagine the amount of chemicals which are being put into the earth's soil system, into the water, which eventually comes back to us? So we are harming ourselves twice. Once when we are putting these products on our bodies or next to our skin. Two, when we are drinking the water, when we are eating the food that is produced by the earth. So why do you want to do that to yourself? When I think about it, when I zoom out of my convenience and I think about the bigger picture, I can't get myself to ever use again a chemically produced unhygienic hygiene product. Unless I'm traveling and I have no other option, then I will use them, because what do I do then? Then I'll probably use them, or try to come up with a creative solution of making my own cotton pads. This is what women did back then. I remember my grandmother doing that. I remember my mother doing that. There was a time, fortunately I have seen that time in India, when we didn't have products like Whisper. Whisper was the first product, I think, in India. Before that, women were making their own handmade cotton reusable pads. They did that. We did that. I've used them in the first few years of my menstrual cycle as a young girl. So I really urge you today to go back and look at what's in your product that you use every month during menstruation. And I urge you, if it's commercially produced, to just throw it away. I mean, just put it aside for a time when you have to travel and you may have to use those products. Just put it aside. Stop using these. Educate yourself. Go to Google, go to YouTube. Look at companies and organizations that are producing these natural products which are good for your body, good for the environment, and good for everybody else eventually. So you can rid yourself of the burden of adding to the earth's waste, the earth's burden, which you are currently giving to the earth every month. I can tell you, since I have made the switch, I feel so good that I am not contributing to the earth's pollution anymore, and it has transformed my relationship with my menstruation cycle. There is something really special about coming in contact with your menstrual blood. We are really fed with these negative ideas about our menstruation cycle and our menstrual blood being dirty and unhygienic, and that actually couldn't be far from the truth, because the menstrual blood is one of the most nourishing substances in the world, because it has the potential to sustain life. It has been scientifically proven now that menstrual blood is full of stem cells. Stem cells are full of life energy. They are very, very life-giving cells. So when I made my switch, it took me a while to get used to how these products work. I use products from this organization based in Auroville in South India. They are called EcoFem. Please go to their website. They are very, very educational also, even about how to track your cycle and other things. But really, educate yourself today. Make an educated choice. This is your body. You are responsible for it. You have the power to make this choice, which is eventually going to be so good for your body, so good for the environment, and your family, your friends. It's going to affect eventually everything. There is nothing that we do which does not have consequences. So why not make choices that are good for us and good for everybody else around? With this thought, I'm going to end today's video, and I'm going to hope that this helps you in some way or the other, and you begin to realize how powerful you are as a woman, and you no longer have to think that your menstruation cycle, your menstrual blood is unhygienic, dirty, or unhealthy in any way. This is the most sacred thing ever. So connect with your body, be gentle with yourself, know your sacredness, listen to your body's messages, and be good to yourself. You deserve it. Be compassionate with yourself. Your body does so much for you. Make choices, be as nourishing as you can with yourself, and take care of yourselves. Thank you. Until next time.